Good day, guys. Big up to everyone. It's your boy, and my internet is doing a madness. I'm definitely looking like KG today, bro. Big up to everyone. You know what I mean? It's a match reaction. I hope everyone is well. Big up to all of you joining. Let's get into the show. It's going to be a match reaction. Of course, you know it was a bad game. Everyone's upset, and there's a lot to say. So, so I'm going to let everyone have their say. I'm going to bring on the guys. You know most of them. You've seen them already. You've heard them. You know what I mean? They're the guys. They're the ones who always here with me. I got Zick here early in the beginning. Zick is going to come in and we're going to ask the questions not only to Zick, but to all of you in the chat as well, guys. It's going to be very interesting to see what's going on because the real thing, guys, is where do we go from here? That's more important. You know what I mean? Big up to Zick coming in the building. What's good, bro? What's good?
I'm chilling. I'm chilling. Trying not to go to therapy after yesterday. That's all. Just trying to yeah, man. Just trying to survive.
Bro, I know what you're saying because I'm feeling the same way. It's a bit stressful right now. I understand. And I know that everyone is frustrated, bro, emotional, and I can't give him wrong. I was fuming myself, but I'm a patient guy. So, in a way, I have a little bit more in my mind that we can get better, we can improve, and it's not so bad. Like for me, we've had a better start in terms of totality than what we had last season because we weren't fighting about the wins we had. We weren't
Yeah.
saying we win it nasty or bad. You know what I mean? We
Mm,
did win those games and we did deserve to win those games. So
yeah.
now for me, it's like, where do we go from here? Can we get better? Can we improve? Can the manager fix these problems? Can the players fix these problems? You know
Mm.
what I mean? Because it's not just on him for me. And what do we do? So, like, the guys aren't here yet, but I'll start with you. I know they will
How
jump
about
in,
me? Yeah, yeah.
so let's get into it. Let me know what your thoughts are on the game first, and then we'll get into the questions. Big up to everyone in the
Um,
chat coming in.
I've watched. I'm really bad with this, so I watch it live, and then I watch it again. I wait, and then I watch the whole game all over again later on that night, and then I watch it again the next day as well. Win, loss, draw, whatever. I try to get as much as like an open, objective opinion about what's taking place. Um, Honestly, we never got out the gates. We never got out the gate. What we saw more than anything else was, and I'm not even gonna say that like Spurs didn't have to do anything for us to for them to play well. That's my concern. I feel like, yeah, they didn't have to be 10 out of 10. And I think the concerning thing going forward is no team has to be 10 out of 10, whether it be at Old Trafford or away from Old Trafford, to play through us. And we were just too easy to play through. That's just my honest assessment of the game. But obviously that comes with other caveats, players not performing. I'm a firm believer that, players have to take accountability once you cross the white line. Where's your pride? But I'm starting to believe that it's not just the shirt that's wearing heavy on the players. Um, it's also this manager's seat that might be a little bit too much.
100%. Bro, I don't disagree with that. Like, being a manager, being for Man United, as much as we're in this league with a lot of other teams, I
Yeah.
think it's a different level. It's next level business. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And like Mr. B, bro, like I don't tend to disagree that there are some parts of the system that gives me a frustrating vibe, but I don't think it's genuine to say that it doesn't work because I could say that there's factual evidence to prove that we're currently creating the most chances in the Premier League and we
Mm.
have missed the most chances. And
Yeah.
when a team is doing that, the system is working. The tactics is working because at the end of the day, the aim of the game is to create chances to score goals. It's not
100%.
about just playing beautiful football. It's about scoring goals to win the games. Now, I would agree when you say that, players are running through our team.
Yeah.
How do we fix that? That's the manager needs to do something about that. It may not be be a tactical problem, but it may be a personal issue. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I think you have to look back to the FA Cup final. Playing against the best team in the country for the last 5, 6 years, maybe even longer. He was pragmatic, and we went back to kind of playing on a counterattack or in transition. And I still think there's a lot of transition players within that team, and I think that you got to do what works, regardless of what fans say, regardless of what pundits say, regardless of anything. I think the one thing that Ali did, and I hate to bring his name into it, but it's the reality. I think the one thing that he did is he understood that he had transition players, and United should play on the counter attack and play in transition. And I feel like until Ten Hag, if it's going to be Ten Hag going forward, he has to realize that he has to take more of a pragmatic approach, which I'm sure, listen, no manager wants to sit back. I don't think any manager in the world wants to sit back and let another team come and dominate the ball and then hope you get an opportunity on a counterattack. No manager wants that.
Jose
But
Mourinho.
no, but again, even with Jose, you know what I'm saying? Like even with Jose, he wanted some level of control, especially in his Chelsea days. They didn't really do that a lot. I think the park the bus stuff came more like Italy and stuff. Real Madrid, they played some good stuff too, but under Jose. But I think ultimately we know what Ten Hag is about. We saw in the Eredivisie, we saw in the Champions League. He wants to play forward-thinking, possession-based football where you are pressing high, you're winning the ball high, high octane, high energy. I just don't think, and it's not just a case because I don't want to talk about like backing him and all that type of stuff because players have been bought. That we know players have been bought, but I think you got to go with what works. And I think in the FA Cup final, we were pragmatic, hard to play through, hard to break down, hard to like everything about it. Like we squeezed City into areas they didn't want to go into, and then when they lost the ball or they had a lapse of judgment, bang, you score. And I think that's the next direction, really. If he sees it, obviously I'm not Manchester United manager, but while sitting out here watching, I could be like, look, one way or the other. I had a conversation with a good friend of mine today, and he said, look, if I was the Manchester United manager, he's my friend, and he saw me save my job in the FA Cup final. He said, I would just tell, if you ask my advice, I would just tell you to do exactly what you did in the FA Cup final for 38 games a season. Just play pragmatically, like set up not to lose, and then build from there.
100%. I don't disagree with that at all. Big up to Alien, bro. Big up to you, my brother. Yo, like I would say, bro, at the end of the day, right? When we look at this game, and we can look at it from a tactical perspective, right?
Yeah.
I would say initially I felt the setup was wrong.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Big up to Brush in the building, bro. You know what I mean? I felt the setup was wrong initially. Like the balance up front for me was not right. Now, while Xerxes started for me, I wanted Ahmad to start off the right. Right? I would have take Rashford starting off the left hand quiet if Garnacho come off the bench. No problem. But for me, it must be one of those two off the left, nowhere else. You know what I mean? And I just felt like when we started making changes after we went down, not even just then, but because like 15 minutes before we got the red card, I thought that United was starting to find a little bit of a foothold. Because we started off the game really cagey. I don't think the tactics was poor. I just think that the team themselves, they wasn't up for the game. Simple passes, they're not making. That is not a manager problem. That is a player problem. They just was not ready for the game. I don't know why.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for me, from that perspective, I look at it, fast forward to after the red card into the second half, we can see the second goal on the second minute of the game in the second half. And after that, we started playing football.
Yeah.
There was a 30-minute period where Manchester United create something like 9 chances, 4 corners, and I believe we was having them pegged back for like about 10 minutes of that 30-minute period, where we was probably the better team. The best part of the game was that 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then the last 15 minutes, of course, in my opinion, the guys was tired, and they make a mistake.
You got one less man. That's gonna happen. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, in that 30 minutes, we had enough chances to score 2 goals, even score a third, and we didn't do it.
Yeah.
So when I look at that, and I hear people say in-game management is crap, I'm like, if engaged management is crap, how we was creating chances with 10 men?
I think what it is it's okay. So first of all, you go into the game. I think, like I said at the beginning, United didn't get out the traps. They genuinely pushed back, no ball control, no control over the game. Tottenham was at them, and it's almost like the players have PTSD. At least the ones that was here last season. It's almost like as soon as United, like we can't go behind. You know what I mean? Like as soon as we go behind, everyone's like, "Oh crap, what are we gonna do now?" You know, and the heads drop. So no excuses about it. I like if I heard words like motivation, Eric Ten Hag can't motivate players, blah blah. Bro, if you've got to be motivated to get paid what you get paid and play for Manchester United, and you need somebody else to motivate you, you're in the wrong business. It's that simple. You're in the wrong business. You should wake up
100%.
every morning. You should wake up every morning ready to go because you're at Manchester United. I'm not saying life doesn't come with its problems, whether you're a footballer or whether you're a guy who lays bricks. I'm just saying
100%.
that if you're playing for Manchester United, no matter what, you should wake up thinking to yourself, I'm on it today. Like I'm at this day at Old Trafford. They're gonna be singing. It's gonna be up. We're against Spurs. It's a big game. We should be up for it. And it just seemed like every player had a bad night of sleep. It looked like nobody, got the right amount of rest. It looked like everybody was just stressed already before the game even started. And yeah, there's little things to gain the edge. I think, there are things Ten Hag could do to gain the edge. I think Arteta does it. I think Pep does it. When you see, little videos, little anecdotes, little stories that, they're posting things in their meeting rooms, from Instagram or from wherever, and it's, questioning a player or what have you. And I feel like Fergie used to do it back in the day before social media, where he would get onto a player in order to galvanize the team. He might have a go at Darren Fletcher, but really in truth, he's having a go at Rooney. But everything he wants to say to Rooney, he's saying to Darren Fletcher. And Rooney's sitting there thinking, he's kind of talking about me. I need to show this guy. You know what I mean? Like, I need to show him in the second half or whatever it is. And I think those are things maybe Eric Ten Hag could be better at. Galvanizing them to go out there and go to war. The us versus everybody mentality. In his time, unfortunately, Old Trafford has not been a fortress. Teams come there and they have the lay of the land and they're able to run around and run through the team. That's not just on him, of course, that's on the players as well. But, it's starting to become a little bit of a joke, unfortunately. And he has to turn this around. And even if that means that we have to play pragmatic and play defensive and, not be hard to beat, then that's what you have to do and hope to nick one on a counterattack. But you can't keep showing up to games and this keep happening. You just can't. Teams like even Southampton had a good, even though we won the game, Southampton had a good period against us. I'm not saying that doesn't happen in football, it does, but they're long periods. Sometimes it's 15 minutes of the team keeping the ball, and United are not keeping the ball or pressing teams in the way that we should. So it's a big job for Eric Ten Hag now. It's a huge job. New regime. You want to give him an opportunity to prove everybody wrong, but I want to see him be successful at the club. I just don't know if that will happen, and that's just because I don't know if he can get these players and turn them around. He has enough generals in there. He has enough guys he's worked with before. De Ligt, Martinez, Mazraoui, Onana. He's got enough guys in there who are guys that he's worked with who should be his generals in the changing room. Should be galvanizing the guys before a game. I just don't know. I do know which way to go. I just don't know if he'll do
it. Well, that's the next thing I'm going to ask now. Because regardless of what, we're looking at the body of work so far, the 6 Premier League games, right? Mm-hmm. Who has been United's standout player for you this season? And why? Because I beg to ask this question because, we're not winning games like we should. We're not performing excellent. But we have to see somewhere in the team that there are players who could, probably that player that could lift us going forward.
I think Garnacho is seriously unlucky to continue to kind of either be on the bench or be second fiddle. I think he's direct, scary to play against if you're a fullback. And I think if given the right type of the right situation and everybody's playing well, Garnacho's fantastic. But I think the guy who's kind of impressed me, although he hasn't scored goals, is Xerxes. Again, a player who, he's not scoring, and that's what a striker's job is. Strikers are judged on goals, but his link-up play, his ability to come off the front and give other players opportunities to get in behind and score goals, I think that's been very vital. So yeah, those two for me will probably be the first two. Garnacho and Xerxes for me. And then obviously at the back, De Ligt has been really good. Martinez is Martinez. He's been decent. But you know what? I'm leaving someone out. I'll lie. Mazraoui's probably been the standout, like above everybody. Right back, Mazraoui's probably been the standout player above everybody.
Well, Olmo, big up, bro.
What was the
Welcome.
first question?
The first question actually was based on the game. It was, what tactical changes should Manchester United make? And I know you want to address that. So the floor is yours, bro.
To speed that up, the manager, this whole thing of playing with a back four, like I get it, but you want that midfield. Eriksen should be in that midfield. I don't care what you do. Like I've been saying that this man should play Eriksen, Mino, Casemiro. That's a lineup that will work. This whole Bruno thing, throw it away. It doesn't work. This whole Marcus Rashford thing, throw it away. That too wasn't work. We need crosses into the box, and it hasn't been happening so far. You have a touch striker in Xerxes, and you have Marcus Rashford cut into his favorite foot just across the ball. Like, bro, that's not gonna work. In my opinion, like the whole thing should be where that whole lineup thing that people draw on to see if I could get it. Like the lineup should have Xerxes and Højlund in it. Xerxes and Højlund should be in it. If I could do this share screen nonsense,
Yeah,
so figure it out. I'm learning piece by piece. The formation thingy. There we go. Zoom. If you could zoom that in, as in there's the formation the manager should be using, like as I see, to make it work. Because the only person that has a good weak left foot on the team is Diego Dallo, and that's about it. He's the only one that I know that could go on the left-hand side and cross with his left foot. Now you look at it, you're like, oh, why is Mazraoui? Yeah, Mazraoui is playing center back. He's been playing center back this whole year. This whole year has been playing center back, and people have been noticing. Licha has been poor. Licha has been poor this whole year. Like what we need from the center back role is what Maguire did, which is those long diagonal passes. If you didn't notice, Onana has been the only one that's been doing over the top passes. Onana has been the only one from that whole backfield. And just put Maguire there, because so far Licha has been poor so far. So far he has been poor. He needs to go on the bench and figure out, like, sir, sit on the bench, get yourself ready. You're good right now. You've gone down, but I'm benching right now so you could get some rhythm going on. Xerxes needs to be up there with Højlund. Why I put Xerxes and Højlund up there? Because Højlund is a fighter for the goals. Xerxes plays more like a 10. Xerxes says a 9.5. I'm not gonna fight him. He knows what he is. He said he's a 9.5. He's been a 9.5 his whole life. So you got to just turn him to a bagsman. That's not him. Højlund is more of a bagsman than Xerxes. Højlund is more of a bagsman than Xerxes. Why put Xerxes here? Because Xerxes is gonna drop to the midfield either way. Either way, he's going to drop that. And once he drops it, he's going to go straight to the striker role. You know who has done that? Scott McTominay, but he's not here right now. Eriksen over here, because, again, he's going to lick up the play. Eriksen is a better 10 than Bruno Fernandes for what this manager wants to do. But then again, it's what the manager wants to do. I'm the manager. As manager of Manchester United, you want Eriksen over here to link up plays. Ball to feet. Everything in this midfield is ball to feet, by the way. Everything here is ball to feet. And with Bruno Fernandes not giving me ball to feet. He's good, but he's not giving me ball to feet. When the balls come to him, looking for the assist. Sir, I don't need the assist from you. I do not need the assist from Bruno Fernandes. I need the assist from Ahmad, Xerxes, Dallo, Højlund. I do not need the assist from Bruno Fernandes. And why I put Casemiro? At some point, Casemiro is going to go up here. And be only Ugarte left back here. Because if people look at Casemiro, he's going to sit back. Now Casemiro never sits back. From his whole time in Porto, to
in
Real
Madrid.
Madrid, to Eriksen first, to Ten Hag first here. He never sat back here. He wins the ball, lay it off, and it goes up. That's all he was doing. And now you are changing his role. He's more dangerous up here. He's more like, what are we doing here? As the manager of United, that's what he should be doing to save his job. But then again, my manager is not smart. I'm smarter than him.
You know what is good, bro. Sometimes that's how it is be. So after all that's said and done, I ain't Drex thinking, but he will come in when he's ready. What do you think about this question here? Who has been United standout player so far this season for you and why?
That's easy, Mazraoui.
Mazraoui, are there?
That's easy because the man, even in our torrid time so far, right? He's not put a foot wrong, bro. He's not done anything wrong. He's done his job to the, in my opinion, to the best of his ability. What the managers asked of him, he's done it. Right? So for me, and to think that, I know he had preseason with Bayern and all of that, to think that this is his first season, right, in the Premier League and at a club the size of Manchester United, bro, he's done well, bro. He's done well for me. I actually want to see a formation, right? This is just me. I want to see a formation because we have the players that can play. Martinez, Delete, Mazraoui, maybe Licha, or even I know people don't trust Maguire, but I think Maguire can play in the 3 at the back, right? 3-5, whatever it is at the front. If you must play Bruno, find a way in there to put either you play Ugarte and Casemiro. If you want to play Bruno, find a way to play your Bruno, but there should be somebody that can hold the ball as well, right? Right now, Bruno is not in form. I'm not saying Bruno is a bad player. Bruno is not in form. I don't know. I know some managers like to say, you know what? If I sit this guy down, he's not going to get the form. Maybe let me just keep playing him until he picks that form. But the problem with Bruno right now is rest. It's fatigue. Fatigue. I think it's fatigue, and it's getting to him. Someone needs to take Bruno out to the sideline or behind closed and say, Bruno, come, take 1 week off, or take 5 days off. If you can do it for Sancho, you could do it for any player, bro. For me, yeah.
Jack, don't you think like you're forcing your way to play Bruno?
I'm not forcing my way to play Bruno. I'm just saying take Bruno off. And why Bruno is off for 5 games, or for, you could actually do whatever. We've seen it. Eriksen yesterday, Casemiro and Eriksen came into the game, and the 10 men United were looking like, bro, they were the one pressing the game. I know the argument was maybe Tottenham went back a bit to see if they could soak the pressure and catch us. But earlier you stated it when we were talking. I think it was you said no, they were still pressing, but we were able to create some chances with 10 man United.
Right. So here the next question, guys. Cross the board, right? You guys in the chat get involved, right? We go into Zik, Drex. We'll go to you, Omo, after. I will talk about this last. Do you think Manchester United are using the right approach against teams' defenses so far, according to what you have seen?
No, not at all. I think like I said, against City in the FA Cup, there's a one time where I saw a pragmatic approach, because you know that the team that you're facing are better than you, and you know that they're susceptible to counterattacks because how high they play up the pitch. The reality is, if you're going to continue to play the way you're playing, you're going to continue to get played through. Doesn't matter about the attack. Like God's honest truth. Like, it doesn't matter, like scoring goals all the times. Obviously, goals win games. But if you put that to the side for right now, you need a foundation. So we're not approaching the game properly because there's no foundation. If you're easy to play through, then your foundation is cracked. There's a problem. And you look at what Tottenham did to us yesterday. It was easy. They didn't stress the first goal. If you go back and look at it, the first goal, he scores at the back post. And then I saw somebody tweet, like, I put a $5 on United to concede at the back post, because it always happens. So it's like, you have to be pragmatic. And if you're not going to be pragmatic, then these things are going to happen. And it's quite clear to see. So the first thing you need to do is fix. It's not necessarily obviously, I respect everybody's opinion. You can go to 3 at the back or what have you. But the reality is that United have transition players. That's what we've been for the last 10 years. A team that play on the counterattack, play in transition, low block, get the ball, go. That's what we do. Rashford down the wing, or Martial at the time, or even, don't want to mention his name, but a young man that's over in France now. That's what we were doing. You understand? And for that, United were getting results even against, the Brightons and all these teams that we feel like we should be beating. So, look, he has to find a solid approach to start games. It's not necessarily that we need control of the ball or what have you, but we need to start getting teams to move where we want them to move and not so much move where they want to move. Once you can start to trap players or trap teams, then you can begin talking about a press and where to trigger the press. But for right now, it doesn't matter, because if teams show up and they feel confident against you, not everybody plays against us. Everybody. I can't name you one team in the Premier League from the top to the bottom who don't come to Old Trafford or we go to their ground and they don't feel like they can play against us. At least if you're not going to be pretty on the ball, be nasty on the ball and off the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, one way or the other, we need to have foundation. And if you're not going to have foundation, we're going to concede goals.
Drex, your thoughts on this?
For me, it's
The
no.
question, right?
For the answer is no, bro. We shouldn't be. It feels like we're approaching every game the same way and expecting something different, bro. That's me. So the pure answer is no, bro. No. The manager should. The manager should be. We can't be playing at home to Tottenham and they're pressing us. They're pegging us back. Like, it's like okay, this is what they're going to do. We're going to play our game, and yeah, we couldn't just come out, bro. We're just I don't know. I saw Brighton do the same thing against Chelsea, and they paid for it. They paid for it, seriously. Brighton paid for it, right? And we United, in my opinion, have the wingers that could actually punish Tottenham, but we couldn't. Everybody was saying we should play Bruno because this is the kind of game that suits Bruno, bro. It felt like the players don't know what they're doing the first 10-15 minutes, and it keeps happening. That's why the manager has to look at himself. I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to do? Against it was Zeke that said it right now. Against Man City in the FA Cup, you went with a 4-2-2. Even prior to that time, I think against Newcastle toward the end of last season, you also went with a 4-2-2. Right? Yeah. So even Brighton, I think you did. Then you switched it up in the game. Right, and prior to the FA Cup, because you were thinking that's what you wanted to do, and 4-2-2 worked for you with FA Cup. I know when you play the likes of Southampton and the smaller club, you want to be expressive and all of that, right? I know you could actually do what you want to do, the 3-1-6 thing that you do, right? But I feel like that 4-2-2 would give you, the 4-2-2 thing will give you some sort of a balance, because all we need now, Mark, I've said this several times, all we need now is the system to work, the players to know that, okay, this system is working, that the outcome is actually winning games. When they win games, they know, okay, this system that we're using at this point in time is winning us the game. So for me, the answer to that question is a no, bro. It's a no.
It's 100% no, because the thing is, without 4-2-2 press, only work with certain players, and now that certain players are not available, it's not able to do it. He did it with Mount. Mount was there. If Mount wasn't available, he did it with McTominay. And now that, thank God, Ineos has sold McTominay, this manager cannot play football. My whole thing is like the versus Tottenham. We consider goal in 3 minutes. Second half, we consider goal again in 3 minutes. Like, bro, these are recurring things like this happening over and over. And again, the goal that we concede with Van der Ven, same type of goal that we concede versus 20. I'm like, so all we need is, if the opponent have a fast defender, just run past and you will be able to get goals. And that to me shows another weakness in this pressing that this manager wants to do. Because again, Barnsley played a high line. They play the same type of high line Angels do, except when playing out of the back. They play the high line, and how come we're able to beat them? Having control in the midfield. And this game, we had Mino. Mino had nobody to pass to him. Bro Fernandez, he's just like number 10. I made a video on this. As a number 10, you must travel with the ball. You gotta make love to the ball. You gotta move with the ball. And when we have a number 10 that doesn't do that with the ball, all you want to do is unleash it as quickly as possible. We're not gonna get nowhere. The moment you unleash the ball, you're automatically defending. And again, You know how teams beat us? They give us the ball. Try and do something with the ball. We will press you because you cannot do nothing with the ball. See what Spurs did us. So as soon as we got the ball to Onana, they're like, let Onana have the ball. Or as soon as Onana pass the ball, they're pressing. Because again, what do we do with the ball? Nothing. We go long, boom, we are defending again. We go long, boom, we are defending again. We act like we are at White Hart Lane. We've lost 2 games at home, 3-0, 3-0. It's not good. And we have to go to their home and play and try to get points from that. Listen, they have to figure out a way of how to beat teams because right now it's horrible. It's not good. This is not good. It's not good. Like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, what are we doing here? You're out here wasting my time. And to me, that don't make no sense. You're muted.
Even for me, you guys know, I back in the thing right now, and I feel like sometimes I watch this team perform, right? Like, let me say the game against Southampton, the game against FC20. We come up against Tottenham, and the first 15 minutes we're looking clueless. Like, and from my perspective, I can't look at the manager. I had to look at the players. We just win 2 games. They are playing against expansive teams or teams that go and come at us, you know what I mean, in the same kind of vein. Now, they might not be as good as Tottenham, but they're doing a similar thing. So you did this before, 2 games before, and then show up today, and it's like, what am I doing? Bro, the same thing you did Wednesday, the same thing you did Saturday. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's just, that's all we expect, consistency. So, you know, there's what begs with this question that I'm going to bring here. Big up to Alien Red Devils in the building. Thank you so much for that contribution, my brother. Spurs first goal. Someone should have took one for the team, yet they let him dance his ass all the way through. Schoolboy defending, it's embarrassing. Bro, I would have chopped him down like a... Bro, I'm telling you.
100%.
As a God above, bro. I did that winger.
I think there was nobody for him to pass to.
Bro, listen to me, bro. I want to hear him out, bro. I can't play the clip, but go back and watch it, bro. When Rashford lose that ball and Garnacho there, none of them... I know Van der Ven is quick. But over the first 10 yards, you could reach his shirt, bro. I would have dragged him to the ground like a dog.
To the ground.
Like a dog. Bro, I was dragging him down, bro. No 2 ways about that, bro. Anyway.
Take the yellow.
Anyway. I a winger, bro. 1 yellow, I go and get in the game. After I get a yellow, I'm not skating. Nobody.
This thing we saw it last season when we were down to Fulham 1-0. We equalized. The momentum was with us to actually go for the win, right? But for some reason, there was a pass. Adama eluded. Went past. I remember it was Ericsson. Went past the defender and passed the ball to Iwobi, and it was 2-1. Same thing happened against 20. When that right back had the ball, I was screaming, "Where is it running to? Where is it running to?" Van der Ven did the same thing,
20 when 20 scored the goal.
No,
Christian Eriksen had the ball at his feet.
No, Mark, I understand. I understand.
I'm just saying, that's where the goal come from against.
Yes, I agree. But the fact that nobody could stop him to even make that play.
He got that far in the first place.
Bro, listen. What I'm saying is, the ball. Listen, for me, I don't even understand how there's an argument about this. Right? As a player, 5 minutes on the clock or less, a ball reach your foot and you is like the last defender or second to last defender. The only choice is to clear that shit, bro. Long and outside. They teach you that basic, bro.
Mark, we get what you're saying, but you're not listening to what Drex is saying.
I acknowledge that, but what I'm saying is, at some point, there's always we have a chance to make something happen or to figure it out. Always have a first chance and a last chance in these situations when they make a mistake. The first chance is like when you should have pulled the tackle down, pull the player down earlier.
Yeah, that's the first chance. And the last chance is Ericsson. It's all together.
I think the problem is this.
As a winger for United, they need to start doing these things because when you look at other teams, they're doing that, bro.
Well, it's the dark arts. You got to understand it. And not to go back to 20, but again, it's parallel to Van der Ven. Once the right back for 20 picks up the ball from Rashford and starts running, someone's got to take one for the team. If you don't, Then Maguire comes running across and missing the tackle altogether. Ericsson could have passed the ball back to Onana or cleared it, as Mark just said. He's now again, I don't want to like make it seem like as if though these things are happening in slow motion because they're not. It's very quick. Like if you've been to a Premier League game, things happen so fast. You notice very quickly, like, oh, players don't only have seconds to think. But he should clear the ball. When you look at the Van de Ven one again, someone's got to take one for the team. Someone's got to drag him down. Someone's got to make a bad tackle. Hopefully don't get sent off in that situation. But it's just like we're too easy to play against. As soon as he picks up the ball, everyone looks at Van de Ven and says, all right, then run. I think the only person who tried to put in a tackle, and it was a block, was Delay at the end when he's crossed the ball.
Exactly.
Like, no one's tried to stop him. Like, nobody's, and I don't care how fast the player is, you can clip him.
Bro,
you can clip him.
Tell you something. In that initial moment when you lose the ball and he have to pick up the ball, his first 2 steps is to gain control before he could really take off.
This is it.
That is the moment you have to catch him, bro. But it is what it is. It'll happen. Hopefully, I think that is one of the next besides goal that we need to work on. These players need to be willing to take these fouls, take these yellow cards. Maybe it might tax them, and maybe there's get a little bit of a fine for yellow cards and red cards. I don't know. But, the only thing I can think of that is why we're not really doing these things, which we should be doing, for me. And, the question is, if you were 10, what would you say to the team before the game and after the game or at halftime? Yeah.
Whatever Ole Gunnar Solskjaer say. Because I know in second half I'm scoring goals. I don't know what Ole says in the second half, but I know second half FC we scoring goals. That's all I know from him.
If I would not even want Ten Hag to say anything to them because I feel like whatever I say to them at halftime, we do not see it. If he was actually motivating them or actually putting fires in their bellies to come out going ready to go for the second half, we don't see it because the second half, the first 15 minutes is all the same thing. It feels like we're watching the first half, the first 15 minutes in the first half, we're watching it again. Last season, I know I used to make a joke of it. United have a time zone where everybody seem to do a looking to exploit. It's either the first 15 minutes of the first half or the first 15 minutes of the second half. This same thing happened against Tottenham last season. We were leading 2-1 into the break. Came out, 4 minutes later, it was 2-2. The same type of old lapse in concentration.
Yeah,
so for me, I don't know what the manager. Mark, I know, but I don't know what the manager is telling them. I'm not a manager. I've not been a coach in my life, but if whatever is telling them at the moment, it should just stop.
It's not working.
To be
should
fair,
not tell them anything.
One thing I had to say about that, which is for me, I hear Zeke talk about it in the group earlier on today, and he said at the beginning of this stream, you're playing for Manchester United. You're earning hundreds of thousands of dollars per week or tens of thousands of dollars per week. Bro, you definitely should be motivated to walk out on that pitch. You don't need
at all
manager,
times.
Bro.
At all times.
What I would say you need a manager to do, really and truly, is to give you that little extra comfort conversation. Like, hey, bro, I know you missed some chances in the first half, but use the man, bro. You will score the goal. And from what Ten Hag is doing in interviews and press conference, he's always backed these players to do good, to do well. Even he backed Xerxes to score. I think he's trying to tell these guys, perform. I think he's trying to tell these guys, giving them reassurances in the halftime. But the problem is, where these guys' confidence, own drive on themselves, their pride, where's their own pride? Because at the end of the day, bro, where we as fans is feel embarrassed. The manager will take the blame. But these is the brothers out there on the field in that 90 minutes that bring in these results. Where is their pride to want to win? Now, sit here and blame my manager. But these guys need to have pride to want to win too, bro. And that's just how I just look at it. As a worker, as an employee, who work in an average job, you know what I mean? And I have to come to work early on time. I have to deliver a certain amount of efficiency every day. At the end of the month, I have targets to meet. Hopefully, I will exceed them every month. But if I to do all these things for myself. You know what I mean? For other, if my manager, if I wake up every morning expecting my manager to tell me I had to put my best foot forward today, then it's kind of a weird one for me. I don't know about that life. So when I hear people saying that the manager need to motivate the players, for me, yeah, but you had to also be self-motivated at the same time. You know what I mean? You had to also want to win. You also had to have a drive. Bro, I don't know what happened. My mic having some issues.
We have
Sorry
to
about
we
that,
have
guys.
to we have to remember, like, before anything else, and I'll answer the question that's on the screen as well. But like, we have to remember before anything else, you're playing for Manchester United. This is not Sunday League in the rain in England, a muddy, waterlogged pitch. This is Manchester United, Old Trafford, treble winners, multiple time Premier League winners, FA Cup winners, second, like, biggest club in this country, most marketable club almost in the world. If that doesn't get you going every day, I don't know what will. You're in the wrong business, as I said. Like, you're in the wrong place. Like, how can I motivate you if you're not motivated to do that? Like, I think the things that Eric Ten Hag, if I was Eric Ten Hag, it's tough because you get a man sent off, which I don't think was a red card. I've seen it several times now. And how do you tell those players to go out there and give a good account of themselves, or, try to keep it to 1-0 and see what happens or what have you? I think, again, it comes down to tactics. I hate to say it, I don't want to pile more pressure on the manager, but again, it's like, okay, shut it down. Try not to concede. Wait for Tottenham to, put on Højlund, put on players who can run, because you're going to be running for the next 45 minutes. So shut it down, defend. Just sit back there, stop them from getting an early goal, see if you can wear them down, and eventually maybe you might get something on a counterattack. And if you do and you take that chance, it's 1-1, you get away with a point out of what looked like a horrible day. But United went back out there like they had 11 men on the pitch. And that's concerning, because you can't win the game. No matter what was going to happen, Spurs were going to score at some point or another. So unless you were stout defensively, Spurs will get a goal. And if that's going to happen, then, like I said, you can't win the game. So I don't know, man. Like, I feel for the manager, because I feel like the motivational stuff is crap. I think the players should be motivated because they play for the club, but he needs to have some sort of man management. I don't know if he went in there at halftime and shouted or yelled at them. Maybe that's not his approach, but they need it. Even if it's just to anger them, just so they, you know what I'm saying? Like, they go out there and say, all right, cool. Like, I'm angry now. Do something. The fact that it just felt passive. And that's the best way to describe Manchester United right now. Passive. In every sense of the word, in every sense of the way we play. It's very passive. And it's almost like we're waiting for something to happen. And there's but so much singing we can do at Old Trafford. I'm sorry. There's just but so much we can do. Like, at some point or another, you guys are going to have to do something to get us off our seats. And that's just the way it goes. Spurs had the lay of the land. They could run around. They could do what they wanted. They passed us off the park. And what can Ten Hag do except for stand there and, watch? Because he's probably sitting there thinking, this is not what we did in training. So how does this happen now? It's sad. It's sad to see, but it for me, it's starting to look like the process will start all over again eventually.
Interesting. What are your thoughts on the next question, guys? We're supposed to bring to the table. Can I turn things around? Vegeta, I know you just come in. Temba, I know you just come in. But I'll leave you for last, Temba, because I see you post something in the chat, and I have something for you with that. So let Vegeta go first.
So if I was Ten Hag, what would I say before games? I'd say, do you let another man come to your house and disrespect you in your own yard before the first game, bro? You're a man. You're somebody's husband. You've got children that you have to protect. We are your children and women. Please protect us from humiliation, first of all. We're at home, for Pete's sake. Are you going to let other people come and take the piss out of you at home, bro? Like, I understand the whole motivation thing, right? You are right. I mean, we pay them enough money for them to be motivated. But after what happened with Liverpool, I'm sure there's some PTSD. These guys, you need to talk to them. at the end of the day. Then at halftime, bro, I don't know what he says because these guys seem like they are even more so traumatized at halftime because they don't feel like coming out and playing football again. I don't understand. It's like it gets worse. So I'd be like, yo, guys, really? Like the history of the Tottenham Hotspurs is coming to Old Trafford and you guys are making them look like prime Barcelona. What's going on, guys? At home. Your wives don't respect you. I tell them, me, I'd be disrespectful. I'd be like, nah, bro, your wives don't respect you guys. You guys are not men. What's this? You're letting other men come to your house and take your lunch. Nah, not me, bro. Could never be me. Personally. That's what I'd say to these guys.
100%, bro, 100%. You know what I mean? It's an interesting situation, you know. And I'm glad I find this here. Temba, welcome. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the chat too, bro, because I see you post something in the chat there. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, you know, you're posting some stats about Gary Neville being our manager. You're posting about the 3-0 defeats that we've been having. But I just wanted to bring this to the stage. So when we start talking about that, you know, we could talk about this too one time because this is pretty interesting information here as well for me. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, let's just say that, you know, it's not him alone. It's not the first time. He's not the only manager and not one of the managers in the Premier League that people think is the manager. So let me start with third season. So just like how you have these stats here, just wanted to bring this to show you. This is Arteta third season. This is some of his losses, right? See, it's got, you know, you've seen a couple losses there. You know what I mean? This is Klopp. You know what I mean? 4-0, 5-0, 2-0, 3-2, 1-0, 2-1, 3-1-0. You know what I mean? These are some of the results they had in the third season. Just some results of these managers. You know what I mean? And I'm not defending Ten Hag because I believe that we should be doing much better. We shouldn't have lost the way we did. I think it was terrible to lose the way we did, especially with the fact that I think that, yeah, you know, even the red card, I can't even use that as a saving grace for the result of the game, if you hear what I'm saying, fellas, because we did lose 3-0 to Liverpool at home before. But what I would say is that, and I keep saying it to everybody, United is a work in progress. And, he disappeared, bro. His charger blew. So you can't, you know, working. My mic is acting, Vegeta.
You're a bit better now, but
No. I was just replying to Vegeta, like saying
before earlier on.
Yeah, Max microphone.
I think it's my phone, bro. My phone about to die. So last rounder, you know, last rounder opinions, guys. Your final takes on all things concerned. Because like while I show you this information, I'm not trying to make an excuse for Ten Hag. I was just trying to make a general statement that across the board, these things has happened to managers, and you know, depending on what happens after, they could go to where Arteta is now, where Klopp went, you know what I mean, or they could go the opposite direction and end up in total disarray and rubbish. So I just bring it there to have a balanced opinion for everybody who talk about the losses in the third season and, you know, well, Arteta had it, Klopp had it. It's not new. You know what I mean? And we only play 6 games in the Premier League so far. I mean, so when you look at our list of losses and you look at what's going on there, if you're considering third seasons, it is what it is for me. Now, the last thing I would like to ask everybody is, can Ten Hag turn things around? At the end of the day, why I'm asking this question is because there's been multiple reports. And when I say multiple reports, it's multiple reports from various heads of the structure that said that we are here with Ten Hag and he at least has our back for the next 6 months. So going off of saying that he's here until Christmas, this is what we're thinking here. Because contrary to what a lot of people saying, brother is here until Christmas by the least. According to Omar Barada, Dan Ashworth, Jason Wilcox. All right. So my question to you guys, can Ten Hag turn around? Question to the chat. What you guys think?
Man. I hope so. My heart wants him to. My heart wants him to. My head knowing ball the way I do, watching various teams every week, various coaches. At this point, I think it's the kiss of death when they have to say it. I think this is the second time they've said it this season. Oh, the manager's got our full backing. I think that's the kiss of death. I genuinely do. I feel like he's just not. And listen, I at Ajax, huge Ten Hag fan. First season at United, huge Ten Hag fan. Second season, I gave him a bye. Injuries, all the things that we will put on top of that, I gave him a bye. I expected this season to see. After the FA Cup final, I thought maybe, like I said, we'd be a little bit more pragmatic, and I'm happy with that. And listen, the Premier League is not that it's difficult, but what I mean by it's not that difficult math wise is you got 38 games. You win every game 1-0, you win the Premier. You understand? So pragmatic doesn't bother me. Being defensive does not bother me. The idea of stopping teams playing against you and making it easy is better to me than opening up and losing 3-0 at home. I thought against Liverpool would have been pragmatic. I don't know where he goes from here because every single time United don't do something right, the pressure will mount. And regardless of what the ownership model says or what have you, the reality is that they can't take too many losses. Remember, the club is also not in the greatest financial situation either. So, yeah, I my heart says he can turn it around. My head is saying that before Christmas, he could have his walking papers.
Muted. What you said?
Oh,
Nah, I was just,
oh, Vegeta, you going next? Go ahead, bro.
I don't mind going next, bro. I was going how I answer this is can he turn it around? Nah, not really, bro. What Ten Hag needs to turn around is that he needs to leave Old Trafford, go to the recycling department, throw himself in. We can recycle him and get a better manager because we've been too inconsistent for me to think he can turn it around personally. So no.
Omo.
Oh, me? Oh, he can never turn it around. He's not a good manager. I already told you he's not a good manager for Manchester United. He should go coach somewhere else. Well, you know we're at 13 on the table, right? Listen, this man he had to rewire his brain, and he's stubborn in his way. And to me, I already know the flaws. Like, listen, it like what happened if we're going to Porto away? We're gonna draw that game or win, and he's gonna Aston Villa. Is that a draw or win? And they're still gonna keep him around. Listen, I already told you that I don't like this manager. I don't think it's good enough. So I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Fair enough, bro.
I already said he can never turn it around. It's not that he can't. He can never turn it around.
What can I say, buddy? What can I say? Drex, what are you saying?
For me, right, Mark, we've seen it feels like he's come to the crossroad. Like it's empty. The tank is empty. I hope for him to turn it around, but looking at what he's doing, I don't think so. Right? He's still adamant on making his own, digging his own grave, bro. I'm all for it. I'm hopeful that he does something. I actually was saying to Vegeta earlier, like, yo, you should go to Africa, go to somewhere, Asia, find maybe during the international break, just take himself off football. Maybe he would find a spark. Maybe he would find something that would just be like, okay, yes, this is what I want to do. And it might end up working. But looking at what I'm seeing from yesterday game, when the cameras was on him, when the third goal went in, I'm like, yo, this guy's gotten to the end of the line. Not because of the sack, he's gotten to the end of the line on what to do. Like he doesn't. With Crystal Palace, he tried to galvanize the team. We played good football for 70 or 80 odd minutes, right? But they were not scoring goals. Against 20, almost the same thing. I'm like, I just for sometimes I just pity him. Like, okay, what else could be done? What else can he do? Right? He wants to play this transitional football. The only thing that maybe can save him is what Zeke talked about. The 4-3-2 thing. Just be pragmatic and maybe get some wins to build confidence and try it again, maybe bit by bit. But at that point, okay, there's some sort of stability. So if you fall, maybe you have something to fall to. But right now, if he continues like this, the same way we played against Crystal Palace 20, Tottenham, we go like this, bro. It's the inevitable will end up happening, bro.
I mean, I don't know what that means, but I look at it from a pragmatic perspective as well, because you see, I think about it from our perspectives as fans, you know what I mean? And then I say what I have to say and give my opinion from my perspective on certain things, because I believe what I believe. I might be a little bit more patient than most, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I would somebody in the background. I would say it like this, right? For me, if I compare the situation and the wants, the needs from my perspective, from our perspective, and I compare it and I look at it from the perspective of the owners or the current structure, I think we're looking at it in a different way. I think they're looking at it as they're still analyzing who need to leave, what players need to come in. Maybe results matter, but it's only 6 games into the season. You know what I mean? Depending on what happened till Christmas, is I think the sample size that they're looking at. Because remember, this is their first season in charge of the club. And this is his first season under them. They signed him a contract this summer. They signed a new coaching staff this summer. They signed new players this summer. So for me, I think he get 3 months to start winning games consistently, immediately. Because there's no way in 6 weeks the coaches are just coming going to make a drastic impact into a team that really was not good at set pieces last season.
Mark,
You know,
I have a
not
question
that great
for
at
you when you
defending.
finish.
Hold on, bro. And I'll be honest with you, bro. The structure people might think, because they want to think that the structure might go and sack him because we lose 3 games out of 6 in the Premier League and it's looking bad. But the reality is the structure may not do that. And being in 13th place, bro, I don't think that matters to the structure in the grand scheme of things after 6 games when it have 32 games left. You know what I mean? 32 games. Just mark it down in your book, bro. There's 32 games left. There's not 5 games left, not 4 games left, not 15. 32. So for me, pragmatically, I'm looking at it like there's a possibility that they might just wait until Christmas before they make that decision, because they would look kind of stupid interviewing 6 managers, keeping him, and then sacking him after 6 games. You know, for me, with the SC20 game, we drew. We could have scored. I blame the players for not putting the ball in the back of the net. It is what it is. These are work in progress. I know we can't compete for the league right now, but I think based on the games before Tottenham, if we was keeping on those kind of performances in game, we would have been or would be going forward in a positive direction. You know what I mean? And right now is one of those things where I feel like the only thing we can do is stay the course. And one of the guys in the comment, Brendan said it just now. You know, I think that it's down to some of these players to find the drive, determination, and the will to fight on the pitch. These players come into this club at Manchester United, they don't deserve to start any game, bro. They don't deserve to do anything other than kick a ball when the manager put their name on a team sheet or their number come up on the signboard. You know what I mean? And it shouldn't be about favoring them. They should be coming here to favor a position with their best performances. I think we start to confuse work ethics and effort with, like, it's almost as though the manager have a remote control in his hand, like the Xbox, and the players at the end of the court, the digital court, and he controlling each and every one of them. And that's the crazy thing for me. But I think it's not all that bad statistically, you know, defensive-wise, possession-wise. We are increments higher than we were last season at this point. We have played decent games, more so than we've played last season in the same amount of games. So I would say, you know, I give him until game week 10 before I.
You see?
Where did he go? I was gonna ask him. I was gonna ask a question, right, guys? I was gonna ask a question.
Battery die, bro. Battery die on my phone.
I'm gonna
But
ask a question. The question
just now,
is,
bro, I just wanted Bailey to come in because realistically, I kind of wanted to close off after Bailey had his say now.
oh,
But
okay.
after Bailey have his say, I'll ask the question and then we'll close. So Bailey, I don't know if you was watching the stream the entire time, but bro, but I asked a few questions. What I mean? I'll just run through them on the screen so you could see the questions that I ask and maybe you could give your thoughts on this briefly. What I mean? I asked initially what tactical changes could Ten Hag make that might improve us. I also asked who's United's standout player this season so far and why. Does Manchester take the right approach against other team defenses? What are your thoughts on the pressing? Should it be more aggressive? Should we sit back more? And if you were Ten Hag, what would you say to the team before the games and at halftime?
In terms of the tactical changes, right now I'd probably stiffen up the midfield because we're not specializing in the dark arts at the moment. So I would stiffen up the midfield. So whether that's playing Ugarte with Casemiro, that might be the balance in the midfield that we need. Because I keep on seeing guys just run through. I saw it against Liverpool. I saw it at times against Brighton. I've pretty much seen it in almost every single game, to be honest with you. So they need to sort that out because now it's actually a thing now. Teams will look at that and think, okay, if there is any form of gap, just run through the middle and we'll try and create chaos from there. So what was the other question? Hello?
Who do you think is Manchester United's standout player so far this season and why? The approach to Man United's approach to against other teams' defenses, do you think it's the right approach? What about the pressing? And if you were Ten Hag, what would you say before the game and at halftime?
Okay. In regards to the standout player, it's very hard to give a standout player, but if we're gonna base it on the games where we've done well, I would probably say Eriksen. He's been the standout for me in the games that we've done well in. Okay, the halftime message. Well, lads, you're looking shit, and you're the ones who, you have to go to sleep at night. And if you feel like you could go to sleep at night knowing that you're getting paid the way you're getting paid, knowing that you play for Man United and you're putting out this piece of crap, if you know you can sleep comfortably, then carry on playing the way you're playing. But I don't think you'll be here next season. That's what I'll be telling him. Is there any other question that I'm sure there's something else that I missed? Is there any other question that I haven't touched on yet?
I mean, you could just at this point, bro, you could just give your final thoughts on what you think is, what we're going to do going forward. What your final thoughts on the game that we played, and then, well, of course, Drex has his question for everyone on the panel.
Okay, if I could just give my final thoughts. If I'm gonna say Ten Hag, I think the guy is obviously he's on the brink of a sacking. However, for whatever reason, this guy always gets to this point and somehow stays in the job. Somehow. So I'm more thinking that he'll pull a rabbit out of the hat. Like, I don't think the writing's on the wall the way everyone says it is. Because last season, we were saying this. Like, guys were already visualizing other managers taking the seat, and it never happened. It almost happened, don't get me wrong, but it didn't happen. So I think there is a chance that he could save himself. In terms of the way we're playing, like, don't get me wrong, it's better than last year, but it's not good enough. Like, if we're just gonna be totally real, it's not good enough. And I think just as more and more games come and they go, I feel like I'm getting more and more sick of what I'm seeing, the mistakes they're making, and everything else. Other than that, I feel like the left back injury is severely hindering us right now. Like, because don't get me wrong, Delo's a very good footballer, but there's occasions where he's not comfortable with where he's playing, and either he's getting skinned or he's trying to find the angle of the pass and he's forcing it and it's not on and he's losing the ball. Um, so, yeah, we need to sort out a left back. In terms of the attack, to me, the attack's not good enough. We need a gunman who's going to motivate us to score goals. So, if we have to go and break the bank to go and get somebody who's going to score at least 30 plus goals in a season, I would advise the board to do that. Because what's the alternative? You've bought two young strikers. They can't be. This proven fact. We've got a big. Apart from Xerxes, we've got a big data set from the other lad, Hoyland. We've got a big data set from him. We could even go. We've even got a big data set from Xerxes from his previous season and what he's showing us now. And I don't. I have big doubts that any of them are going to be gunmen within the next season or two. So as far as I'm concerned, I think I think January is a bit impossible in January, but I think in the summer, they need to go and get somebody who's going to score 30, 35 goals. It's a must. And maybe that might help the rest of the team in scoring goals. Because is Rashford going to be happy that the centre forward is now on 40 something goals? He's going to be thinking, do you know what? If I get in a position or I could shape to shoot, maybe I could get at least 15, 20 as a result. Maybe the same thing might impact Ahmad's game. Because when I look at Ahmad, yeah, he's got all the attributes. He's just lacking the assists and the goals. He's just lacking it. Yeah. For him to nail down that place and say, Garnacho, you can never come and play on this wing again. He needs to score goals because my man's Garnacho's coming off the bench and he seems to be impacting games. Sometimes he starts and he impacts games. And if I'm gonna be real, he is the most informed winger that we have, and I kind of feel like people are sleeping on him now compared to everyone else. But the balance that Ahmad gives the team is superior to Garnacho. And that's the only reason why I would favour him at this point in time. Other than that, he needs to add some a bit more competence to his game. And yeah, they just need to shore up the midfield, and that's probably where I would leave it, to be honest.
Drex, big up, bro. Big up, bro. Drex, if anything else, if you have the question, you can ask it now, bro, because after that, I'm all out, bro.
No. I was just gonna ask if all things being equal, take the sack aside, right? Do we actually see this manager? It was you actually directly to Mark. Do we put the pressure of the sack, take it off, right? They've
I
said
don't really care
no,
about the pressure of the soccer, bro. I just be
no,
honest.
I'm not. I'm just saying take that off, that scenario off. Like you said, me, I know they would give him. I think they would give him up to December, right? But take the pressure off. Do you actually think that these guys they could do what the manager wants, or do you actually think it's the manager has gotten to the end of the road for himself? Do you
I
think he
mean,
can turn it around?
bro, like, to be fair, we had a real shit game. You know, none of the players didn't look like they turn up ready for that game. You know, normally you watch players walk down the tunnel and you see certain men faces and you say, bro, this guy go and score today. This guy ready for it today. Now, to be fair, that is bit on player, bit on manager. I think he at a crossroads in as well. I think he need to make a decision on some of the players that he's starting and that he depending on. I think that's the one thing he definitely needs to decide. And the biggest issue with that is that for him, you know, for me, it's like, okay, some of these players perform well in the first season, so he trusts them. Guys like Bruno, guys like Rashford, guys, you know, certain other players on the field. But now we have some other players that coming in, and for me, I am always this guy that whether or not you played well, you could still get a bench. You know what I mean? You could still hold a bench. Because I watch Alex, I grew up with Alex Ferguson rotating, man. I see Ronaldo score a brace today. He come on after he was 2 goals down, and we just score one back on the 70-something minute in our game against Everton. So just an example. You understand? So for me, I think, you know, a lot of people too quick to say Eric Ten Hag can't turn it around, and this is because we've only played 6 games. We've lost 3 games. We've won 2. We've drawn 1. You know, we have seen good performances. I think, you know, the team is a work in progress, and the reason why I keep saying is a work in progress is really, really and truly because the strikers, we didn't get a gunman, so we was always going to have a problem scoring goals. We have 2 young strikers, 2 young and 3 young and 2 young wingers that started when Rashford not playing. We can't depend on Marcus Rashford and Bruno having a bad season to begin with. So we don't really have anything to fall back on in terms of goals. Who gonna score that goal? And that is the only problem I see that we really have that is major, because if 1 or 2 of those guys just start scoring goals, then I would argue that in the next 5-10 games, we could be winning those next 5-10, 6 or 7 out of those next 10. Because if we start scoring goals, we will score a lot of goals. We've been creating lots of chances. We have created the most chances in the Premier League of any team this season. We have also missed the most chances of any team this season. So I think if we solve that problem, of course, it will turn around, because, of course, the players will start to be happy of getting results, the scoring goals, so they'll start having a more comfortable possession in the game, and they will start expressing themselves better. And if we win 1, 2, 3 games on the bounce, it's contagious. It will continue. It will become a habit. So for me, that's just how I look at it. I can't say it's all on Ten Hag, because we just got a brand new coaching staff and all of these guys working together. It's not just him. The coaching staff doing coaching. Some of them responsible for the strikers. Ruud van Nistelrooy, for example, is the striker coach, and we can't score goals. Now, I'm not blaming him for that, but whatever he training the players, it has not fully, you know, sunk in yet. You know what I mean? Either that or the players just lacking confidence, which is their personal issue, because they need to build. Nobody can inject confidence in it. Don't have a needle filled with confidence. You know what I mean? Somebody could tell you a story to inspire you. Somebody could say nice words to you, but at the end of the day, you got to walk through the door. They could bring a horse to the trough, but they can't force it to drink. You know what I mean? So while the manager have to hold the responsibility for all the results thus far, these players need to step up, because if they were to step up in the first 3 games of a brand new manager, I would say to you guys, I probably would remove my Man United tattoo and go and support a new club, because then we in for this ride another 3 years, bro, because this is the same thing these players do every time a new manager come in. They look sensational for 6 months, and then back to same old, same old. So that's the only way I could say it, bro. And realistically, bro, I know it's tough, but it's only 6 games, guys. We shouldn't be this, you know what I mean? We shouldn't be this closed off. The season is not over. And we could definitely, regardless of that result this weekend, we could go on to beat Porto on Thursday, beat Villa, because they barely scraped a draw against Ipswich, right? So, and, you know, people will say it's Ten Hag players, but 5 of them just coming to the club 3 weeks ago, bro, before the first game of the season. Some of them ain't even play 5 consecutive games, 90 minutes yet. You know what I mean? So I don't understand. You know what I mean? Bro, it's only 6 games, and yes, we only have 7 points, bro, and there's 32 games left. So if you're doing your maths, bro, just to win 25 games alone, bro, if you don't know, it's 75 points. And if you add that to the 7 we have, That's 87, 82 points. And I just saying if we win 25 out of the next 32. And that's if. If we win 20, we still on 67 points. I just saying, bro. And I mean, you could tell me stop polishing it too, but most of you guys polishing Rashford for 8 seasons, bro. Like, what you telling me, bro? You know what I mean? We were right off Anthony after 2 seasons, but we polished Rashford for 8 seasons. Why? What's the difference?
Nah, he needs to be gone. He needs to be gone.
Bro, we sell the best winger, the best attacker we had in this entire squad, and he was still the best attacker after not playing football for 2 seasons, bro. He proved that by getting nominated for La Liga Team of the Season, bro. Just nominated. Name any of our players that get nominated, bro, in that time besides Rashford in 21-22. And this guy didn't kick our ball for 18 months, bro. If we want to win, bro, we gotta have the best players. We can't keep trying to influence the team in the way we want it, how we want it to look as fans. Now, we could like a lot of players and dislike some of the players, but the best players on the pitch is who should be starting games week in, week out. The guys who perform, and whether it be Ericsson or Bruno or whoever it is, bro, whether you like them or not, if them fellas performing, let them start. That's just how I is at football.
The only thing I'll say about Greenwood, even though I rate him, who's to say he would have performed if he had come back with all that pressure? Because one thing I know about that Man United shirt, the pressure is heavy on the shirt. And we've got players that are supposedly on the brink of world class, looking like absolute turd right now. So it's unfortunate that he had to go, but there's other gunmen in the world. I just like the club should just start buying them. They should start buying them now.
100%.
There's no pressure on the shirt. It's a myth,
bro. Bro. Let me tell you, so I want to say this to you of all people, and I wasn't going to say this to you. I was going to say this to Temba in the comments, right? But if you name one football team in the world besides Real Madrid, bro, that has pressured the team to win every single game, despite knowing that their team has not been that team for a decade, bro.
Juventus. Yeah. The thing is that there's no pressure on this United shirt at all. The whole
so why
pressure
Sancho flopped?
Who?
3 managers couldn't help him, you know, bro. 3.
But he went to Dortmund on a loan,
bro,
and
he still he had less assists and output than Anthony.
You're using GA to judge football, and GA doesn't make any sense.
I'm talking facts, bro.
Is that the point?
Yeah, but when he gets an assist,
if you're gonna use
when he gets an assist, you use GA to judge.
If you're gonna use GA, Xavi is a bad footballer because GA is low. Scholes is a bad footballer because his GA is low. Don't use GA like you want to have a live
GA for him. But what I'm trying to say is, bro,
yeah,
is
but
that
he's playing in attacking position.
A flop. I'm like he
flopped. He did nothing, bro. He was never man of the match, not for one game, bro. What we talking about?
So
75 million we pay for him, bro. 300K.
I'm telling you.
Are we going into another show?
No, bro.
You bring all this scenario up, and I'm telling you the simple thing, like the shirt is not heavy because the standard is so low. The shirt is not heavy.
Would have balled out at United, bro. I just want.
Don't want to talk about Mark. You brought up Sancho.
Bro, I don't
care about Sancho. I don't care about Sancho. I don't care about Sancho.
Would not be having a shit start to the season.
I don't care about Sancho.
Or had a hat trick in a game.
No one cares about Sancho. I'm telling you,
this is not heavy. Players, bro, that would have probably performed better in a shirt with less pressure, bro.
The shirt is heavy, man.
The shirt is heavy. Everybody knows this, bro. This is not me. This is not Daly saying that. This is not Zick. There's not Vegeta, bro. There's not Ten Hag. Everybody knew this, bro, that this shirt is heavy, bro.
I'll wait. I could go now?
Can I just say quickly? I get what Omo's saying because the standard's low, that the shirt can't be heavy because the standard's low. But on the reverse of that, Omo, you also have to look at it from this perspective. Because of the history of winning and the expectation of winning and continuously winning and winning Premier League titles, challenging for Champions Leagues, FA Cups, and so on and so forth, the expectation is regardless of who's wearing the shirt, we're still going to win. So even 10 years without winning any major trophies, the expectation is you're still gonna challenge, you're still gonna win. The other day we did the same. We did a live stream where I can't remember who it was, but they were saying like, I want the Prem, I want the Prem, I want the Prem.
That's
The
me.
reality is, hold on. The reality is, we're not going to win the Prem. But at the same time, you can't say the shirt's not heavy because those players walk into that club every day, seeing on the walls, in the trophy cabinet, all the guys who came before them who are decorated and won at this club. So the pressure, even if you don't see it as a worldly thing, like we see it, like, oh, the pressure's heavy, the players are definitely carrying weight in the fact of like, look, we might not. You're going to become footnotes. Look at Paul Pogba. He's going to be a footnote in Manchester United's history. When really his talent should have been Premier League winner, Champions League winner. You understand? Like, so it's an amalgamation of a lot of things. It's not just me saying like, oh, because it's Manchester United, we used to be like one of the biggest clubs or whatever the case may be. The pressure is heavy because they have to walk in that hallway. They got to walk in Carrington. They've got to walk into Old Trafford, and it's everywhere. It's the air you breathe it around that stadium. Expectation is high, even if you're not doing well. And the pictures, the videos, the nostalgia act that the social media at Manchester United do all the time, you see it all the time. It's about winning. You see Scholes, you see Beckham, you see Andy Cole, Dwight York, Eric Cantona, Van Persie, Rooney, Ronaldo, Tevez. You see videos, Vidic, Rio. You see the videos, you see the pictures in the hallway. So the pressure for them as individuals, as athletes, is very heavy. And the shirt is heavy on them. And you can see it because if the shirt wasn't heavy, we wouldn't be getting performances like we were getting against Spurs.
Even
The
the fame,
expectations too big.
even the fame. What the minute you sign for United,
It's everywhere.
your social media is crazy, and you are now famous. Yeah, you drop a stinker, and everybody's gonna let you know online. You'll be trending for days.
For
This is
days.
this club is not a joke, bruv. I'm telling you, the shirt is heavy, bruv. The shirt is heavy. And I don't know if they've got like a psychologist there or whatever it is, but some of these guys just need to go and speak to somebody to get their game face on. Cause like you guys were touching on earlier, it's like they look like they don't even want to play football. And that should never be the case playing for Man United. Like at one point I saw the lit trying to G the team up. And before, Martinez would have been involved in that, trying to G people up and things of that nature. And I'm just worried, like, has his time at United now started to make him go backwards in his mentality? Because now he's been here for more than a season. Are the old vibes of the players now rubbing off on players that are just coming in? And these are the things that I'm worried about when I'm looking at United now. Even though we're bringing in new players, it just seems like the old bad habits are just rubbing off on new players. Okay, fair enough, it's been 6 games and we still need to give them a bit more time. And some people have only played a few 90 minutes here or there, which that is still a fact and that still stands. But I just hope at some point they can turn it around and start to give us the, because I don't want to. We're 6 games in the Prem. I don't want to have another completely shit season. I really don't. But if it does happen, it happens. Like some people have said, the manager will sack himself if the team carries on not performing. And then if we get another manager, fair enough, we get another manager. But now that the structure's in place, I beg, go and sign a gunman. We need somebody who's going to score 30 plus goals a season. Even if you say the wingers ain't really scoring goals, as long as they can feed that guy 3 or 4 chances a game, he will bang like Van Nistelrooy used to. That is it.
100%, bro. 100%. Guys, this stream has gone twice as long as I initially planned. But thank you guys for all being here. Thank you for all of you guys in the comments. Every one of you, Tommy, big up to you. Big up to Halftime with Vegeta coming in the comments and on the panel. Big up to Bali Tech in the building. Big up to Zig. Professor, thanks so much for coming in. Gabriel, I see you, bro. Big up to, Banks in the building, Banks in the chat creating. Have a big up to Mr. B, Wizard, Box. Big up to Elite Baller. Big up to Tommy Boyle. Big up to Alien Tenno, Alien Red Devil. Big up to Yali Malmeen as well. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Hopefully, we'll be bringing you more content as well tomorrow morning. Come in, guys. I will be here at 8:30 UK. You know what it is, the normal, regular morning stream from your boy, Mark and MUFC fan. Thank you to everyone joining us for the match preview. We'll be back. There's also going to be a match preview on Tuesday evening, guys. Same time, 8:30, where we're going to be talking about the game on Thursday, where we will be facing Porto away. It's going to be an interesting conversation to be had. I still think we can beat Porto away. I think it's going to be one of those funniest things that we will go there and beat Porto very bad. Or, like Bot saying, maybe like Box saying there. But, for me, guys, it's not over until the fat lady sing. I'm always going to stay optimistic because I do believe that, I've been seeing some positives in this team. It's about us being consistent with it. The guys need to be confident in themselves. And as fans, I know we could criticize them when we play shit, but guys, we need to show this team, show the club a little support online. Make it a little nice, at least for 2-3 weeks, guys. Just make it nice. You know what I mean? Show some support, send the love out there to the players. Let them feel a little bit of community with the fans, because I wouldn't be surprised that if the players all think that we hate them all and we think they're all shit. You know what I mean? That's just me. Because I see people comment on social media about the players. And yeah, I know the team have to show you support, bro. But, they're playing on the pitch for 90 minutes. You know what I mean? The least we could do is not make them feel like they're the shittest players on the planet. You know what I mean? On social media. We can talk about it in private. But on social media, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Send some virtual hugs to the team, guys. Big up to all of you joining us. We'll catch you guys later. It's been one of those things, guys. You know what I mean? Let's go.
Baby.